and give us the summary of what is going on with the Nets and the Sixers, or at least the latest
reported.
reports.
Yes.
Oh, it's getting spicy out in here in these NBA streets. Shams Charania of The Athletic dropped a bombshell earlier this afternoon. He's saying that the 76ers and the Nets are expected to discuss a Ben Simmons for James Harden trade before next week's deadline. He's not saying it's imminent,
right,
but the two sides are willing to discuss a deal, and we could see something pop off in the next 6 days.
Rob, your thoughts?
I think the Nets would be bonkers, mad, crazy to take Ben Simmons if you're serious about winning a championship. And I'll say this, Chris. We haven't seen those three guys really together enough for me to pull the plug on it. When they were together, just to give you a little numbers, when they were together,
the three of them
in the 6 playoff games.
What's that, like 4 games?
6. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. But are you ready for this? I'm going to give you a number. The big three had an offensive rating, Chris, of 135.4 in the playoff games together last season. That's 6 games. It's the highest offensive rating in the playoffs by any team ever. Any team ever was 122.2 by the 2020 Jazz. And for a little context, that 13.2 difference is the same as the difference between the number 1 offense, Jazz, and the last place offense, Thunder, this year. That's how big of a gap. You know what I mean? It's like encompasses the whole team. So my point is, if I'm the Nets and I'm trying to win a championship, I would rather hold on to James Harden, hope it all comes together, give those 3 guys a chance of staying healthy for the postseason, win a championship, and even if he bounces, I'm good with that. But I'm not going to take on somebody else's issue. So now you have Ben Simmons. You don't know what kind of player he's going to be for you. Is this guy going to shoot in the fourth quarter? Is he going to be a problem? You already got Kyrie. Why would you take that on? I want all 3 of those guys to play as much. Now, if they're not healthy and you don't win, then you have to live with it. But the chances of them 2 of the 3 guys being hurt again in the postseason just aren't good. The chances are they'll be healthy, and I'd rather take a chance with those 3 guys than to bring Ben Simmons in.
Well, I hear what you're saying, because I think you're saying if you, as bad as they look, and they look bad, and not just the way they're playing, they've lost 6 straight, they don't look like a team. They don't have a leader on the court. I don't know if they got a leader on the bench. Durant is injured. He'll be back, but, we'll see if he stays healthy. And Harden, Rob, I think is frustrated to no end. And I think he's frustrated with Kyrie Irving, or if not with Kyrie Irving individually, he's frustrated with the situation. Because he has mentioned several times about getting Kyrie back for all the games, right? And I think he's more frustrated now because Kyrie is not going to be able to play in all the games than he was 2 months ago. When Kyrie was gone for good, or, for all the games, I think Harden was fine mentally. Now he sees how good they could be potentially, and I think he is frustrated beyond measure with whether it's Kyrie or the situation. And you can see it in his body language. You can see it in the way he's playing. He's not defending anymore. Not that he was a great defender, but at least he tried. And he had 4 points the other night, and that's a problem. Now, to your point, though, as bad as they look, the Eastern Conference is devoid of juggernaut, and Milwaukee would certainly be the favorite right now in most people's eyes.
But they haven't lit the world on fire.
Yeah, and I don't look. Are they taking the attitude that some of LeBron's teams took after they won championships of, it ain't about the regular season. Let's just make sure we're healthy, we're loose, we got our chemistry right, and then we'll turn it up in the play. Maybe. But whatever, they haven't looked great thus far. And obviously Chicago and Cleveland are young. Philly is missing a piece. Miami is good, well coached, tough, hard nosed, but they're not scaring you. So what you're saying is Brooklyn has a better shot of winning it this year with Harden than they certainly than they would if they added Ben Simmons now.
Right.
Because you can always address, if Simmons doesn't get traded by the deadline, you can address that trade in the summer.
Exactly.
So I feel you there. Like, I think Harden, we'll see. I don't know this. I think he's gone, and I don't blame him. This is a mess. And we've said it. Who knows when Kyrie's going to be playing full-time again? And so I think he's gone, but you got this year. And
right.
I'm this type of guy. If I'm Sean Marks, I'm calling Harden in, and I'm having a heart-to-heart, not accusatory, nothing like that. I'm just like, James, where you at, man? Mentally. Like, you look kind of checked out. If you are, we can make this move. If you're just so upset and frustrated with the situation, and you're 90% sure you're leaving anyway after the season, we can do this.
But
if you can give me if you can go out hard this season, then let's go for it now, and we'll move you in the summer.
And here's the other part. If you're James Harden, you better be very careful. Chris, this might be your only chance to win a championship. You might be one of those great players who never wins. And I'm not saying if he goes to Philadelphia,
they'd have a
automatically
good chance in Philly.
That it's automatic that he wouldn't win. But I'm just saying, like with those three guys healthy, that's going to be your best chance.
But they don't have all three.
Well, I'm saying you got to assume. No, I get it. But you got to assume that that's your best chance. And even if after you win you don't want to be there, that would be fine because you have that in your back pocket. That's all.
Yeah, you keep assuming they're going to win if they're together. I think they got a shot.
I think they have a shot to win. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm not convinced that. If I'm the Nets, I'm not taking Ben Simmons. I'm just not.
So would you do the trade in the summer, in the offseason?
After the year's over?
Let's say they get to the finals and lose. And Harden wants to leave. Would you do the trade?
If he doesn't want to be there, then I'm going to move him. But I don't know if it's I always tell you that. I never if somebody doesn't want to be there, you got to move on. I would never want somebody to stay in a situation. You're not going to get the best out of them when they don't want to be there. But
I'm saying in the summer, obviously, if Harden's available, like he'll be a free agent. And most of the teams with money are undesirable places. Detroit, I think, San Antonio, OKC. And so for him to leave you, it's going to have to be a sign and trade.
Right.
So there'll be a lot of places you could move him. A lot of people would obviously love James Harden. So would you be interested
I would look at that, but I'm just I don't know about Ben Simmons. I would just wait.
Oh, that's what I'm asking you. Would you be interested in Simmons?
No, I'm not interested in him.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just not.
Okay.
I don't know who he is.
And that's real. And I said that on TV today. I think I said it on our show over the last few days. Like,
right?
If I get the best of Ben Simmons, even as he doesn't shoot jumpers, okay, let's say I can get the Ben Simmons from like a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? I'll take that because I think he'd be great with the Nets if he's that guy, because I don't need him to shoot much. He can be a playmaker. He can actually play down low on the dunker spot or near the rim because Durant and Kyrie aren't going to be down there, and Durant and Kyrie are my scorers. And so I think, and he's an awesome defender. I think he'd be a great fit for the Nets if he's the Ben Simmons of old. But you're right. You don't know. There's no guarantee this mental block that he has in Philly is just going to disappear when he goes to another team.
And also, where his head is, do you want a guy who could walk away from his profession, Chris? Like you're in the prime of your life. You could just, because somebody said something you didn't like, you're going to stop playing basketball?
Yeah.
That bothers me.
I hear you.
So he goes to the Nets and Marks or Nash says something. Now what? Does he turn his nose up to the organization?
Nah, it's come on, man. Come on. You're a grown man. Rob, you know this. In any public profession, you have got to be able to take criticism.
Just said it. Public.
Hello.
This
us.
is public.
We don't get it like athletes, but we get it.
We get it. Are you kidding? And you could go work at, I say this all the time, go work at the post office, Chris. Nobody's going to bother you.
Right. You are absolutely right. Go play in Australia.
Nobody will
you won't
bother
get
you.
it as much as you get it here.
Right.
How about the politicians?
They get raked over the coals
ripping
every day.
Trump. Everybody's ripping Biden. Do you
Every
think
day.
about what it's like to be them?
Yep.
And every single day you are catching darts. And so there's a certain level of mental toughness you have to work in a public profession and play in the NBA, which is a public profession. So Ben's got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Let's go. All right, I hear you. But it's a good discussion.